Walley Enders has been a good friend of my grandpa's for as long as I can remember. He has won buckles, saddles, jackets, and pretty much everything else you could think of. As you walk into his tack room, you might notice that almost everything in there has a year on it. As you walk into his house, you'll be greeted by one of the kindest people I've ever met, his wife Catherine, who will probably offer you something to drink and a seat. As you walk in, you might also notice his walls covered by big bucks, a beaver, a squirrel, and a coyote. Wally is a man that always tried his hardest to win, and his accomplishments show. Here is his story. This is Walley Enders. I'm Bradley Meadow, and we're gonna talk about some of the buckles and things he's won at shows. I'm gonna ask him a couple of things about hunting and all that stuff. And we're just gonna have a nice conversation about horses. So, we got a couple of buckles here. How many are there?
There's 2, 4, 6, there's 10.
10. So, which one of these do you think is your most memorable?
Probably the last one.
Want to tell me about that?
That's the one. That would have been my 10th championship, and I always said after I won 10 that I would retire. And I did. I retired on top. You don't get to do that very often.
Yeah.
But the first one was real memorable too, really.
Yeah.
And that would have been a co-championship, that first one.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I won the saddle, jacket.
So, what horses do you think you won the most one on?
I only rode one horse,
Which one was that?
Firecracker. He was my only horse that I rode.
What's the story on him?
I raised him from a colt. Oh yeah, his mother's papers go back to Secretariat. The fastest horse ever. So I had a good horse under me. I broke him myself. He was just a good horse.
Yeah.
He would do anything for me.
That saddle right there, what year did you win that?
2008, I won that. And the same year I won that, my grandson won the saddle also. He was 6 or 7, I think. But yeah.
And didn't you win a buckle the same year as saddle?
Yes, I did, because this was a senior, and then they had the regular championship for the seniors.
Right.
Or open. This was the open, I think. No, this was senior, and the open was on the buckle. So I ended up with 2 championships. And after that, they quit doing the senior, because they didn't want me to win them all. I dominated for, I don't know,
Yeah.
almost 15 years, something like that. But it was fun.
Yeah. That jacket you got, what year did you win that one?
2002. That was when I just started. They didn't give out buckles yet, because they didn't have enough money in our club. But yeah.
Yeah. Look around here, you can see you got a whole bunch of bucks and mounts, yearlings, everything. Which one of those do you think is your most memorable?
10-point right there. Yeah, good shot. I shot him the day before Thanksgiving. And I climbed a little tree, and I'm sitting watching all these deer around, and I heard something behind me. I turned, and I could just see his nose and the tips of his antlers and his chest. The tree was blocking his eyesight to me, and I couldn't see how big he was. So I just shot him in the chest. He was only like 10 yards away. And he ran off, and I didn't realize how big he was until I got tracked him down and saw him. And I was amazed. It was something.
Yeah.
And after that, I started getting. He was my first big one.
Yeah.
I haven't got one to beat him yet. Now the rest of them are a little smaller. I got 11 point. He's a 10 point. I got 2 10 points, 11 point, and 2 9 points, and 2 8 points. Mounted. I got a lot of little ones. I've had good success hunting deer. I've been lucky.
Growing up, did you have horses and stuff when you were growing up? Or did you get into it later in life?
Not when I was real little. I was in my teens before I had a pony. I broke a pony. I broke a stud pony that my uncle couldn't do nothing with. My dad bought him, and I broke him. And I kept him as a stud. I could do anything with him. Which was quite amazing.
Yeah.
He would chase you out of the pasture, trying to bite you. When he got him. He was mean.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's how I started. I broke him, and then I started breaking horses for my uncles. Ponies, horses. I broke a lot of horses. Some of them broke me. I had a couple accidents.
Yeah. Which accident would you say is the worst you had?
That's a good one. Because I got mercy flighted both times.
Yeah.
First time, I had a bunch of head injuries and shoulder injuries. I had about 3 skull fractures and 5 shoulder fractures. I don't know. I had a bunch. I was in ECMC for a couple days. Was in the hospital a week. And then the knee, the horse reared over backwards. I was breaking. Went over backwards on me. My leg got caught under the saddle.
Yeah.
Tore a hole right here in my saddle. Where my bone and my knee fucking tore it. Broke my femur. So they're both bad, but I can't hardly say which one was worse. So I was 59 when this happened.
Yeah.
My knee. I think it was 7 years difference from the first one to the second one. I think the first one, it was my mercy flight was $5,000. The second one was over $12,000. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah. So, you and my grandpa are pretty good friends, right?
Yeah.
How did you guys meet?
I think it was when he was working for Dean Scott down there, taking in bob calves, bull calves, and I was farming it, and I would take my calves down there. They'd weigh them and pay me, and that's how we got to know each other, and we just hit it off. Started talking about farming and horses, and he was a good horseman. He taught me a lot about horses. He got me into barrel racing.
Right.
He taught me everything. Yeah, Steve knows a lot.
Yeah.
And we started running around together and enjoyed each other's company.
Yeah.
What else to say?
Oh, what's a couple of the stories on these buckles?
Gosh, I can't remember. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at this
Yeah.
stuff. I don't know.
Which deer was your first that you ever got?
My first was a porcupine. 16, I was hunting with my dad. Walking up the hill, I climbed up a tree by a field. My dad went on up the hill, and I was watching him, and I saw this deer watching my dad. So my dad got out of sight, the deer came right to me, and I shot him. It's a porcupine, small one.
Yeah.
That was my start. It started it all. My dad had never shot a deer at that time. I think he only ever shot one in his whole life.
Really?
Yeah. He never hunted once. I learned all my hunting by myself. What got me the hunting the best was I got shot. The city hunter shot me in the leg.
Yeah.
And after that happened, I quit walking around. I started sitting in trees. That's how I got all these big deer. I let the deer come to me.
Right.
It's harder to do today, but back in the 80s and 90s, you could hunt them that way. It's more successful. They don't wander as much today because all the city people come out and bought all the smallest pieces of property and post it up so people don't walk around and stir them up. They just stay around and stay there.
Right.
So once the guns go off, the big bucks don't move much. Sometimes they do, but not much. So they're harder to get.
Yeah.
They definitely are harder. Just me and him.